I thought I would get some of the creators together and do a biker Christmas for you guys, so we could have a little bit of fun tonight. So, hey, stand by, and we will have some of your favorite creators on right after this. Hey, welcome to Black Dragon Biker TV. And as always, I'd like to thank you all for tuning in from wherever it is in the world you happen to be. Merry Christmas, everybody. Merry Christmas. Let me just bring in your favorite creators here, man. So, everybody introduce yourself. We got OG Weasel. Say hello, man. Merry Christmas and all that.
Happy holidays, everybody. It's good to see everybody on the show tonight.
Shaggy, 1%er.
Merry Christmas, bah humbug, and all that good shit that comes with it.
Hollywood.
What's up, everyone? It is not a Merry Christmas. I thought I was going to wake up this morning, get a ho, 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 about 18 years old in my stocking. That didn't happen. Instead, I got a 50-year-old wife.
Archbishop.
Merry Christmas, everybody. Merry Christmas.
Man, so it's another year. We got new creators on. Archbishop, you and Big Bone are doing some major stuff down there, man. OG Weasel's back. Shaggy's in and from time to time. Got some stuff coming up with Income and all of that kind of stuff. So I just thought we'd have a conversation. Hollywood's here. So, man, welcome for Archbishop. What's it like, man? You've been doing your show. What's it like?
It's not bad. I mean, actually, I'm actually enjoying it. Every week it gets a little better. You know what I mean? We coming up with some good content and putting it out there, and we trying to educate as many people as we can. And I mean, like I said, it's a good thing.
So have you gotten any haters yet?
No, not yet. Not yet. I mean, it's well, you know, you not on the actual show. I mean, actually, the hater we run into, the people we actually know. But no, actually, you know what I mean, with the ones that we actually reaching out to, no, everything's going great on that end.
Don't worry, it's coming. You're gonna have some stalkers and everything. I promise you. I don't wish it on you. But I know
I got a couple stalkers, but I don't got no haters yet.
So, Shaggy, how you been, man? What's up with you?
Good. Trying to stay warm.
Tell me about it. So, what you got, Archbishop? You guys, y'all, how many of y'all have passed away down there? I mean, I know y'all ain't used to know. Are you down there with him in Florida?
Yeah, I'm in Florida now.
Yeah, I know y'all ain't used to this.
Well, you know, I've been in Ohio forever, so you know, so I'm used to that cold. It don't bother me at all. I'm still wearing shorts.
Okay.
That's when you know somebody from the Midwest. They're down in Florida still wearing shorts and cut off t-shirts. Love it.
Right.
No, I'm sitting here with busted pipes, so yeah, my pipes are busted and water everywhere. Hey, OG, how you
happen with old age? You know what I'm saying? Pipes get busted, need some help.
Water pipes. That's what. OG, where are you?
Everything is good. Up in Jersey, man, things are good. It's cold as all hell. It's Ice City up there. We caught it last night. I think y'all sent that down from Chicago. So we've been sliding on ice for the last 2 weeks. It's just been crazy. So you know, just trying to maintain chasing toy runs the best that we can. And nobody's really doing it like they used to. Things kind of it's not like it used to be. You come, you know, December would come and you have toy runs and too many. Now you can't even find a good one to support. So just trying to figure this whole thing out up here to see like what's going on with the setting, like what happened to the traditional things that we love this time of the year, you know. So it's just a new day.
Mm-hmm. You know, I thought I'd talk about some of that. Hollywood, what's going on with you up there? How are you doing?
It's cold, but some good news. I just got out of MRF. I don't know if Shaggy knows, but before the House ran with their heads between their legs out with that 1.7 trillion package, the House passed a resolution on against profiling bikers and clubs. It just happened.
Yeah, I got that Friday.
What does it mean? What's going on?
It means that there's now a resolution, which means a resolution they kind of is an educational piece of paperwork to get a law enforcement to understand that there is, in fact, motorcycle profiling, which is the first step to getting a law passed against motorcycle profiling. So, yeah, that's a good thing that came out of the MRF. So now there's one in the House and the Senate.
So it's yet to be passed, though.
It has been passed. Now I believe it goes to getting signed by the president or some shit like that. I should know more probably. I think our next meeting is after the first of the year. They'll have the definite of what's going on with the NCOP.
So does that mean that it will be against the law to profile if you can prove they profiled, or what? What is it?
What that is, it's again educational. It's not a law. It's just a resolution. Resolution is information saying, hey, we recognize that there's a problem with law enforcement profiling bikers and motorcycle club members. It can go one way or the other. It'll stop profiling altogether, and law enforcement will say, well, it's not happening, or it'll still continue even though the information's out there and the resolution says that, hey, we as senators and representatives of our communities recognize this issue, and it can get moved to a law, which is where we would rather it go, but you have to take it step by step. Things move slowly when you create laws.
Right. That's really cool. I just thought I saw something in the paper that said citizens have the right to shoot police back if they feel their lives are in danger. Did you see that? Did you guys see that?
It's one on me. It's one on me. I can't imagine that happening, but
I can't imagine that being a law.
I saw that.
That would negate a whole lot of firefights between bikers and cops.
Mm-hmm.
Shaggy, you keep that 9mm handy just in case. Just in case.
Oh, I do. It's always loaded, locked, ready. It's always ready to
go. One thing I do know, BD, they do have a law against it in Washington, I believe Idaho, and a couple other ones. I know it's coming up here in Illinois as well.
A law against what? Profiling?
Profiling, yeah. I know our ABATE's been working hard for it.
If you go to the MPP website, it's got the 5 states, I believe, or 6 states that are listed on there. I think it's Washington State, Louisiana, Maryland, New Hampshire, and I want to say there's one more state. I just can't. It's off the top of my head. I can't think of what state it is.
Yeah, I think it's Idaho or Utah, one of them.
You've touched on something, Hollywood. You spoke about debate, and a lot of people really don't. They hear about these different groups and organizations, and we don't get the support from that. So we really need to look into that. If you haven't heard about debate in your local state, you definitely need to, look into it. And as a biker and as a club member, you definitely need to consider supporting that, because these people are on the front lines, trying to really.
They are OG, but I think ABATE's like a relic. I'd rather see everybody support MPP and NCAM.
Well, so with that being said, you got to have the ABATE, you got to have the Freedom of the Road Riders, you got to have the Motorcycle Rights Foundation or MRF. You got to have all those organizations, but you got to have all those organizations working together under the same goal, same kind of banner, same kind of mentality, because in all actuality, we're still all fighting for the same thing.
Right.
Well, true. That's one thing that worries me, and I've been reporting on this lately, is how the Alliance, I don't know if you guys know about this, but the Alliance of Law-Abiding Bikers, they're being led up by a bunch of cop clubs and stuff. Now they're putting a bunch of propaganda out in the last 6 months against NCOM, the clubs, COC, and it's called the Biker Revolution now. So whatever you guys are hearing from that organization, no, it's a bunch of law enforcement cops leading it.
What is it called again?
The Alliance of Law-Abiding Clubs. They are putting out tons of propaganda.
I hadn't heard of them.
Well, It's being spearheaded by Ryan Erlacher at Law Abiding Biker and a contingent of a bunch of law enforcement clubs. Now they're letting civilian clubs join it, and the last 6 months has been horrible. I've been talking with a lot of the people off air, and they're just going headstrong with this. And well, why should anybody go to NCOM? Why should anybody join this and this? We rather be somewhere where we don't have to worry about all that. I was like, holy crap, they're hitting hard.
Well, it's inevitable. I think that was inevitable. That something like that happened.
Yeah, but they don't understand.
Well, the first responder motorcycle club, so it's all cop clubs.
And now they're inviting civilian clubs into it. And people need to know that, I get MRF and ABAID and all them are good, but NCOM's the ones in the thick of this stuff. The thick of it, especially profiling.
But the thing is now, you're not really getting the NCOMs up on the East Coast up north. So it's kind of that reach is starting to really come up here. But I think people right now more so the base more the household name up here for now. And like you said, the COC and NCOMs is slowly coming here. So, I just think that any platform that we have that we can get a voice, that we need to kind of like gravitate to that. And like you said, Hollywood, the ABAID is kind of like old school. It's kind of phasing out. It's kind of like that AMA back in the days. That was the go-to thing if you wanted something done. Everything was AMA. Now you don't even hear about that. You don't see that red, white, and blue patch like you used to because it doesn't have no significance. So like you said, if the NCOM is the thing that's happening, maybe everybody on the East Coast that you don't know about it, but take a second and reach out to a diamond near you and kind of find out what's really going on. And let's bring that, up north some so that everybody can kind of get on the same bandwagon and we can make a difference.
Well, that's something you'd talk to Shaggy about. He's within that organization. But what I do know is they've been fighting this for a very long time. And to hear about this biker revolution stuff boiled my blood.
Well, biker revolution. Wow.
That's what they're calling it.
Well, you see the comment from Duke Rose. That was kind of interesting. It says that it sounds like LEO is causing chaos to create job security. So that's an interesting comment if you think about it.
Well, I haven't been proved to be a non-law abiding biker, but I guess to be judged by 12, you don't work like that anymore, huh?
Well, that's just the thing is we get it. There's bad apples everywhere. Hell, I'd pull out cops being the bad apples for the same thing that's going on. But they're trying to really push this idea that, hey, you don't have to go pay taxes. You don't have to pay money to the dominants. You can just come over with us and we'll tree hug and pull each other's peckers.
Wow.
So that's something NCOC might want to look into because they're growing.
Here's the thing, support the biker revolution. I'm looking at this online. There's interesting. Support into the future, join the biker revolution. Is this the same thing? I don't know. Interesting.
Yeah, it's the same thing. So I wanted to get Shaggy's thoughts on that, Bishop and Weasel.
I think that, there's too much integration on the set. I mean, you got these LEO clubs running around and, the base set or the scene, whatever you want to call it these days, is that we're allowing them to come around. I mean, I think people respect the LE status, but just like that door that you open and you control who comes through that door. So if you're allowing people to come to your house, and what's happening, if it's all about $1 and that's your focus, then you're going to keep letting all types of people coming in. And then that's what happens. They come in and all of a sudden it only takes 2 or 3 people to get in the ear of others. And that's like, it just spreads like wildfire. And then you start getting that nonsense that's being spread amongst the community. And before you know it, then that poison that you're talking about, Hollywood, is out there. And it starts to get you thinking, like, what's really going on. And before you know it, we have a whole different bike scene. This is not the clubs that we had of yesterday. You had hardcore bikers. Like, I go back 35 years in this, and I'm sure a lot of you the same. And this is not the same type of biker that we're dealing with today. You know what I'm saying? You have a lot of people that's just, they grab onto anything that they think is the new greatness. So we have a lot of drop riders. So if I come to you as a newbie on the set or a rub, and it's kind of like, if I'm telling you something, you're like, oh man, well, this must be it. So you're gonna gravitate to that, and that's what's starting to happen. You're putting things out there, and all of a sudden, hey, did you hear about that? You need to check this out, and there you go. Off to the next level of BS.
Mm-hmm.
Well, I think I came to my Jesus moment, as I called it. I started my second channel about a month ago, Motorcycle Lifestyle. And it had nothing to do with clubs. It's everything to do with bikes, rallies, all that kind of stuff, a little moto vlogging. And it's a whole different crowd over there. And a lot of the comments I've been getting was from people, well, you dirty ass bikers, this, you're punks, this, that, you guys are a dying breed. I was like, holy cow, is this what really is going on out there now? From these people, are they really buying into all that crap? Because it is.
A lot of them. A lot of them are going to buy into it simply for the simple fact that they don't know what the real set is all about. A lot of people. You notice that throughout the years, a lot of people they take they like the easy way out. It's like you go into clubs now, and you don't have to probate; they're just giving you rags. They like the easy way out. So with this this revolution that they're talking about trying to do, it's going to spearhead a lot more problems than it is going to do good, because you're going to find that basically what you're doing is that, okay, you're not going to listen to your dominant, and then you're going to run to this cop club who, they all cops, of course. So then you got the dominant sitting there like, okay, so I know we need to pounce on them because they ain't doing what they're supposed to be doing. But if we do that, they're going to run to the police. So now you battling as to what's right as opposed to what you're going to deal with. And you're going to have a lot of these clubs. I'm telling you, it's going to come to a point that I don't know about all dominants, but I know about certain ones that ain't, cop or not, they're going to do what they got to do. And it's going to cause a huge problem.
Well, you know what?
I absolutely think what's going on here is law enforcement trying to push their narrative because bikers have beat them to the punt and was smarter at it and got on social media a little bit faster than they did. And they're starting to push their narrative along with the way Incom got members out there pushing their narrative, such as me. I ain't gonna lie. That's why I'm here. In COC narrative. That's why we have the PR committee. The COCs statewide, there's lots of guys from different COCs that are on there doing what they're doing. And the cops have come to this conclusion, man, the only way we can combat this and get the public on our side and to believe what we're saying is we hit the uneducated people first, the ones that don't know motorcycle clubs, don't know how they interact, don't know how they live their life amongst tradition, protocol, and how they have a code of ethics and how things are supposed to be done, like every other society in this world has. We're going to hit them first, and what happened is they're coming out now saying, "Oh well, everything these guys have been telling you has been propaganda and it's bullshit, but this is how it is because we're telling it because we're law enforcement, we're first responders, we're this, we're that." Well, guess what? They don't live amongst us in our world because they don't fit in with us in our world. They're the squares that are trying to be a part of our world, and they don't understand that. Do what you got to do. Say what you got to say. You're fighting shit. It's just the same old rhetoric that we've been avoiding anyway. And we'll keep avoiding it. We'll keep, ignoring their claims of saying what they're going to say and what law abiding. Come on, man. 99.9% of this country ain't law abiding. We've got so many laws out there on the book. We wake up in the morning breathing the wrong way. We broke a law. I mean, for Christ's sake, man, we beat our Constitution into nothing every single day. I mean, for crying out loud, and we have to fight for our own rights from a law that was created in 1964, saying that you cannot, profile somebody, or you cannot go against somebody's civil rights due to the color of their skin, their creed, their religion, whatever the case may be. But now we have to have specific language in a bill in order to tell law enforcement who they cannot fuck with. And that's ridiculous. But we have to do that because why? We have lawed ourselves out of freedom and we want it back.
Well,
it
wasn't only specifically clubs. I'm talking about the independent biker. What kind of 360 everything really happened today? I was the other channel. It's like a lot of different people on there that I'm not used to dealing with, but the attitudes. It's like, what the hell happened to this thing?
But you got to think about it, Hollywood. I mean, like, the biker today, they're going right to the Harley shop. They're not even like starting on that lower level. They're going right out and they're getting the ultra classic and they're getting the full suit that comes with the 20% off the first day you get the bike. And as soon as they walk out the door, they're looking for a club because they have to have some type of association and validation, So what's happening is that we're seeing more riders and bikers coming to the patch and coming to the set. And those riders that don't really care about the true lifestyle. So they're just kind of like just going with the flow and doing whatever. Then those are the people that you're talking about that have those comments. Because when they run across real bikers, you know how we are. We just kind of free flowing and we do what we want to do, when we want to do it, and how we want to do it. Then you take that everyday dude that's just going to weekend and put on his best. Then you can't mix those. You can mix them together, but it's like you'll never understand each other. Like, we can never sit back. Like we was in the chat earlier today and we were talking about motors and like stuff like that excites me, man. You can't talk about real biker stuff to some cat that's not really into the lifestyle, into the culture, into the whole history of it. So when you get people like that, and when they come across real bikers and we just out there having a good time, they have a serious problem dialing into what's really happening in that situation.
People like that hate seeing free people be free. So they got to come up with some stupid shit, I'll say this, I've said it 100 times, it all goes back to the ideals of perception. I don't give a fuck what people think about me. I don't give a fuck what people want to say about me and my lifestyle. You know why? Because they don't belong here. They don't understand it. So I don't give a fuck about their opinion. They have their opinion. I respect that because they're American and they've got their First Amendment right to have their opinion. They also got the right to tell them to go fuck themselves. And if they don't like that, I don't care. And if they want to start stupid ass shit like they're starting here with this law-abiding Bikers Association, well, good for them. Let the law enforcement get together and just have another reason to have another meeting because that's all they're doing. Nobody cares what they have to say. And for those that are saying the bad shit and the haters and all stuff like that, let them hate. I love when somebody hates me. It makes me stronger. I love when somebody hates me. It makes me more dedicated. I love when somebody hates me because it makes me more apt to smile as they bleed.
And welcome to the Christmas show. Good job, Shaggy. Time to go to bed, kids. Good stuff.
OG, that was you were just talking about the chit and stuff like that. I asked BD if he smoked crack earlier. He said a CD R1000 for a damn chopper.
Chopper engine. I have to.
What's new, Shaggy?
I'm not letting you do it. This is something that's interesting that I wanted to talk about from the 99% side. When you think about you want to buck up against the dominant and go join one of these organizations, it sounds real good, and you're going to ride the wave with a revolution, as it were. One thing you got to remember is your motorcycle club cut out for what it is that you're trying to envision? I had a person once tell me a coalition will never defeat a nation. And so if you ain't got no nation, you might want to think about following things that have always worked. A no matter what you say, nobody is going to stand for your motorcycle club and fight for you, or go up against any kind of conflict for you. That's something that, when it comes down to it, men have to do for men. You and your club brothers. And if your bros aren't built like that, then I would have you consider all these new people. I remember when the great Chuck Gines came in with his movement, and I don't know, there's something about movement, and there's something about things that have been around for a long time, and there can be revolution and sweeping change, but it generally comes at a high cost. So those are things to think about, especially as you get 50 and 60 years old in your biker life. Are you willing to face what it takes to do some of the things that folks are talking about? So I would just put that.
Involved the 99 that are talking about doing what you're talking about doing. Those are the guys that are going to fall in line with the law enforcement side. Those are the guys that just be left in the dust, man. Nobody cares. Go do what law enforcement wants to do. Go be their little monkeys and their little puppets. I don't care. Do it. That has nothing to do with me and what I'm doing in this lifestyle. Has no effect on me and what I'm doing as a biker and a 1%er. It has little to no effect on my daily sleep. Those cats over there that want to join that, law-abiding association or whatever, INCOM is very law-abiding. They have a lot of organizations that promote laws that are trying to benefit bikers for the right reasons. I've never once heard a biker, 1%er or non-1%er, stand up and say, hey, we want a law saying that, strippers should be free on Sunday, and that all the coke you can do should be allowed on Fridays, and ridiculous shit like that. It's all about saving our lives. It's all about promoting good health and good comfort and being a free American citizen, and following within the laws that are common sense laws, not some of the ridiculous shit that's out there right now.
Damn right.
I mean, I think that's the saddest part, Shaggy, is that we don't even know some of the laws that's even out there. We just get on the bikes, a lot of us, and just riding. That includes myself. You know what I'm saying? We don't know our true rights, and if you get pulled over and you get that question, where are you going? Do you know we should answer that question or not? I know I don't need to answer that question. So we need to educate ourselves as bikers. So for now, for whatever we have, you got to work with what you have until you know better. Like you said, until you get associated one that can kind of give you that knowledge and kind of drag you along the way until you get to where you need to be. And then going back to the whole
never speak to law enforcement over anything. You don't answer any of their questions. It's all gotcha. Every question they ask you is a gotcha question.
So you just don't ever speak.
Ever. And there's actually some very good videos out there. I think if you type into YouTube, don't talk to law enforcement, or I don't speak to police or whatever, there's some very informative stuff out there that, there's lawyers that give their side of it. And then there's detectives that give the training they've been given over the questions they're supposed to ask you that's going to get you convicted just by your own words. A lot of people don't know that. INCOM is very heavy on that, on what not to say, what not to do, what they give you a card on what you should say, and the only thing you should say to law enforcement. But people, they don't want to listen to that shit, and then they wonder why they pay these enormous bills. Remember, you'd rather be judged by 12 than carried by 6. Always remember that.
Absolutely.
This guy right here is one of the best ones I've seen, called Don't Talk to the Police. He's a law professor.
He's a law professor. And the Virginia Beach detective that's in his class gives his 15 minutes or 20 minutes. And his part, both of them are very important, but the detective's part of it is the most important part of the entire video, because he explains exactly what law enforcement is trained to do to get you to admit to doing something you didn't do.
Right.
And it all starts with where you coming from and where you going.
Yeah, this is you can find this guy. It's called Don't Talk to the Police. All you got to do is just type "Don't Talk to the Police" in your Google search engine, and this will come right up on YouTube. So that's 46 minutes that I would tell anybody they probably want to invest some time in if you don't already know some of the things he's talking about. The worst situation I ever saw is was in San Diego, California. I was in the Navy with a guy whose son was accused of murder, and he sent his 15-year-old down, and all three of the 15-year-olds went down. They were accused of killing one of the guy's sisters, and what the police did to them was so horrible that after the 3 or 4 years that it took to get all this stuff settled, those kids got multi-millions of dollars in lawsuits for the accusations that the police department put on them. So you don't talk. You just ask for a lawyer. You don't talk, and you just don't talk. Does that make sense?
Sure.
You don't talk. So let me ask you guys, where is the motorcycle set headed for 2023? Are we getting better? Are we losing?
Hopefully more strippers and more fun.
Are we losing the lifestyle, or are we going to have draconian laws drawn against us? What do you guys see for the future? More of the same, or just what? Bishop, call on you.
Yeah, I'm having some connection problems right now. I'll jump back in here in just a second. I'm having a couple connection issues.
What do you think, Hollywood?
I think they've been saying that since the 1970s. It's all gonna die. It's still here. Adapt, improvise. It's just dealing with social media now. That's the hard part. And for those that say the government don't watch your social media, you're stupid, because if you watch the Twitter files come out, the FBI and the CIA were running the domestic psyops on it. It was just proven. Be careful on social media. But I don't think it's dying.
Absolutely.
Yeah. Don't run your mouth on social media. Don't run your mouth stupidly on social media. Makes sense. Everybody can see it.
But you know what? They used to say that until guys like J.R. Reed came around with NCOM and the MRFs, A-Bates. They've been saying that forever, but I think it's going strong. Just different generational views.
Right. What do you think, Shaggy?
I think the community is going to be just fine. I think it's going to downsize quite a bit, and it's something we've needed to do for a long time. I think a lot of the ones that thought they needed to be here are starting to see that this is more than what they signed up for, and they slowly weeding themselves out. I think the community is going through some great changes with involving the NCOC, NCOM, the state COCs, the A-Bates, the MRFs, the other MROs that are involved. I think everybody's got the idea that the only way this biker movement's going to work is if we all come together on the same platform and work together. We're a louder voice together than what we are apart. I see a lot of clubs that backed away from these organizations are starting to seem to perk up their ears and have a little more interest in it. I think social media is helping that. I think guys like myself, Archbishop, OG Weasel, Big Bone, Professional Monkey, Black Dragon, yourself, Hollywood, everybody who's promoting these movements are going to see, these clubs come back and these clubs reunify. I think people are tired of the narrative that's being put out there, and I think they're starting to make a stand, and I think 2023 is going to be a big year for us.
Well, one thing, if you think about it, something's happened, and Shaggy will probably tell you this. Something happened in this scene that hasn't happened at all, and that is black, white, Hispanic, everybody coming together. Because I remember in Chicago, a black couldn't step into one of the whites clubhouses, same way. Now everybody's coming together. White,
Look, if you
black,
think about it, you see that happening, especially like at the Sturgis. You're starting to see more color at the Sturgis rallies, and if you go up to like the Coney area, you're starting to see that mix. So I definitely think you got a good point there.
Well, it had to happen. Think about it. I mean, it's 2023. Most of us in this generation were raised in, the Gestapo eras of after, the what do they call it, the Jim Crow laws. We weren't raised that way. Most of us don't believe in the whole white power or black power or this race or that race. I mean, it just doesn't make sense to us. I mean, the culture is evolving and it's moving forward in a positive manner. That's not to say that the intermixing of these clubs is a bad thing. It's actually a good thing. When cops pull you over at night, especially in the wintertime, they're not pulling you over because of your race. They're pulling you over because they figure they got a biker, because we're all wearing full face helmets, leather jackets with gloves on, and there's no skin color being shown. They just think they got somebody that they think drugs or drunk or got $1,000 on them or something. They just scored from a dope deal or whatever. They don't give a shit about color. They never have. The thing with the unity of all the organizations is it's time for it to happen. I'm not saying make every club an interracial club. I'm not saying that at all. But what I am saying is it takes all of us, because we all, regardless of what our skin color is or what our club stands for, we all basically stand for the same thing. That's flying our colors and riding our motorcycles.
I just want.
Go ahead.
Go ahead. I just want to go back to that 2023 comment, BG. So you was talking about what's happening in 2023. I kind of see. I mean, on the northeast side, I think you've seen a lot of growth, contrary to what Shaggy was saying. But on this side of the country over here, we're seeing definitely a lot of growth on the club side. And with that, what you're starting to see a lot of too is a lot of the diamonds are really stepping up, and they are getting their arms around the situation. So the clubs are kind of conforming to. They're coming in. There's a big interest in the protocol side of things. They're conforming. And I don't know if it's by choice or if it's kind of like, listen, we don't want to deal with the dominant in that way. But you're seeing a lot of, the conforming happening, that they are becoming support clubs. And you don't see too much movement without that support patch on it, unless they're trying to move a different way. So I definitely see that part of it happening. But at the same time, we got a lot of people that's coming to the set that shouldn't be on a set. So it's like I don't see any regulation on that side. It's kind of like the floodgates are wide open. And it's just, I sit back sometimes and I may go out to like an old school house or something. And I really don't do too much in my own state. I like to be out of state a lot. And I just watch and I'm like, why are you here? You ever see somebody, you look at them, it's like, like, why is this kid here? And you just, I don't know. I'm just not used to that. I like to be in a certain environment. And when I come out, especially in my own state, I want to see that biker that, when I can sit back and we can just chop it up and talk about whatever. But if I'm looking at you, you got that clown look on and your shirts matching your socks, and you got the whole lime green helmet thing going on with the dragon teeth coming out. I'm just like, I don't know what that is, man. I just can't relate to it. I can't relate to this. It's that's what you call it these days, Shaggy. All right.
I think the whole betting and the whole hang around prospect thing has kind of went to the wayside. It's just like you were saying, you see people all the time and you sit there and scratch your head and like, why are you even here? I mean, that they have no idea the reason why they're here. They just, like you said, they bought a bike, they put on a vest, they got something flashy on the back, and they can hang around, and it's an easy way to talk to chicks, and some of them, they know they got somebody that's gonna have their back for a minute, keep getting their ass whooped for the most part. Let's just keep it real. They don't. These clubs now, that they're more into numbers than they are actual stability. Those clubs never last long. I mean, you can pick up 15, 20, 30 people. How long are they gonna last though? I mean, you think out of them 30, you probably have a good, let's say, good 10 out of that 30. Okay, so now you got 10. After 2-3 years go by, you got 10 people. How long are them 10 gonna last? You know what I mean? You start hearing talk, they've been in the clubs 10, 15, 20 years. That's to somebody new, that's unheard of. So they don't last that long. Hell, some of them skip, they had 7 or 8 clubs in 2 years. And they still, and every club is a different problem. This club didn't like them. This one over here, I mean, like they never sat back out and thought, like, okay, it ain't the club, it's you. It's your ass. You know what I mean?
Everybody's
Like you bouncing around trying to find a home, but you ain't gonna find a home because this ain't really where you need to be. You know, I think they need to go back to the whole vetting process needs to be stricter. You know what I mean? Like you got these clubs growing, yeah, okay, fine, they growing. But what are you growing to them? And actually you got the ones in there, what are you teaching them? Because a lot of them a lot of the old heads ain't even there no more. So what are you teaching them? So now they running them up. That's where the disrespect of the dominance and all that stuff come in, because you got presidents and vice presidents that don't know shit and they ain't teaching the members. So now they running.
I love hearing when they say, "Man, that club's so hard to get into." Right the fuck on.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
But you don't hear that too often these days.
And Archbishop's right, man. It's
you don't hear it too often.
Yeah. What were you saying, Hollywood?
I said, "What's up, Big Bone?"
Man, what's going on, fellas? Man, woo! Hey, this is a hell of a great conversation. I've been running around. Y'all don't know it right now, but I had to go to the Batcave 2.0 and shit because I got a house full of folks. And anyway, but this.
Wait.
Yeah.
Your hat is the wrong damn color. It's supposed to be red.
No, the fuck it ain't.
And we're
it's all black thing.
Black Santa hat. What the hell?
Bah humbug. It's all black everything.
I understand.
Jay-Z thinks he invented that shit, but nah, that's some old diamond shit.
So, what do you have to say about this part of the conversation? You've been listening,
man. The part I caught on, and so first of all, great conversation, and these are things that I'll bet y'all $1 million. The sort of things that every one of us here has actually spoke about before. And, Archbishop hit like my top 5 because we spoke about it. The truth of the matter is, like you just said, Shaggy, I love it when I hear somebody say, "Man, that club is hard to get into." I remember a time where folks would talk about thinking about joining a club, and then they talk themselves right out of it because they're like, "Yeah, but nah, that's going to be just too hard." So the reputation of certain clubs preceded themselves so much to the point to whereas their reputation and the history of that club and the horror stories of trying to get into that club was going to do half the work for you, as in it was going to separate the wheat from the chaff, the men from the boys, before somebody even knocked on the door or even approached you. So the folks that wasn't right for being in that club, hey, it was already, half of them already was like, hell no, ain't going to think about it, because they knew if they didn't have it in their heart to even do something they was thinking about doing. But let me be specific. And I'm not going to take I'm just getting here, so I'm just going to throw this out right quick. The thing is that, and y'all know I say this all the time, it's hard because it's supposed to be. If this was for everybody would be an MC. Everybody would be an OMC or a diamond. If it was easy, it ain't easy. It's not supposed to be easy. And for those folks that are responsible for watering this shit down, so much to the point to where every damn body thinks they can just show up, sign up, pay $20 and sew a patch on, and that's all is to it. I was telling some cats the other day. Some folks approached the COC about getting going, and they had some real different ideas about what was going to be necessary. And I advised them of, hey, it's not like this cookie cutter. Let's just show up and get started. The one dude, and I said, well, the vetting, which y'all mentioned, I said, in the vetting process, I said to these dudes, they're probably listening tonight. But I said, hey, look, I said, I need to know that you are, every one of y'all, that you are who you say you are, and you're not who you say you're not. So I need some information, like what's your name, your road name, like your club name, your position in that, in the perspective, your perspective position in that club, and so on and so forth. Where do you work? Do you work? What did you do? What was the last club you've been in? And this is all this stuff is before anybody put on a patch or anything else, because we're crossing the T's and dotting the I's now. So as I get the information, one guy, not beating up on you too bad if you're listening, but one of these guys listed his prospective title for his club. Mind you, this is a brand new club, no other chapters, nothing else. But he put his prospective title as National President. So, of course, we made a phone call, or I made a phone call and said, well, listen, how many chapters do y'all have? Oh, none? I said, well, when are y'all going to stand up? He said, whenever you tell us to. I said, oh, so you're not stood up yet, and you don't have no other chapters. So technically, you're not even a club yet, right? He said, yeah, that's correct. That's correct. I said, so you're the national president of fucking nothing, right? It's like, the thing is, though, is that dealing with folks that they had dealt with before, they had a completely different understanding or appreciation about what this shit is. And it's not for the faint of heart. It's supposed to be hard, because here's the thing, that once it comes to pass, God willing, that you get that patch, your club is stood up, you doing your thing, you made it into that club, shit, that's when the work starts. That's when the hard shit starts. And guess what? It's not all about knuckle dragging and thumping heads and all like that. Sometimes it's getting your ass up. Archbishop know about this. Sometimes it's getting your ass up at 6 o'clock in the morning to go feed some homeless folks. You don't have shit to do with motorcycles or nothing else, but that's what you do. You hold down your community, take care of the community. Community takes care of you. We talk about that all the time. So our function as being bikers in our respective organizations is to represent that organization. Because guess what? Whether you're wearing that patch, whether you're not wearing that patch, there's enough folks out there who know who you are, who you're associated with. So guess what? If you're an ass and you show your ass, you just made the whole club look stupid. If you stand up like a man, handle your business with honor, respect, fearlessness, and all this kind of good stuff, like we get down the way that we get down. Guess what? You brought, like we say in the military, which y'all military cats know, you brought great honor and credit upon yourself, the Commandant of the Marine Corps, and you know how they say that. So you brought great credit upon your organization by doing the shit you're supposed to do. So no, it's not supposed to be easy. And I like it when we go back to basics. Last point, as I was listening to Archbishop saying how when he was talking about this, my thought was with my old club from many years ago, the first club I was in, we had, I want to say about 3 years in, we had a mantra that we said for a year. I mean, if you sent out a text message, the signature said back to basics. If we made a flyer for an event, at the bottom of that flyer, it's going to say back to basics. If we talked if we were having church, club meeting, we talk about whatever the hell we're talking about. At the end of that thing, we was going to say, hey, fellas, back to basics. Why was we saying that? Because sometimes folks get away from the basic shit. They're trying to reinvent the wheel and all this other kind of stuff, right? So we avoid that bullshit by keeping it simple. There's clubs that's been doing this stuff for 30, 40, 50, 60, 70 years. They got to have something figured out, right? So why do we have to reinvent the damn wheel just because now there's a thing called Facebook, or now, you got cars that drive on electricity or whatever? That shit is technology. That's not changing. That's not a reason to change the culture of this MC shit that we do or why we do it. Technology is a tool, but the basic ideology behind what we do is about respect, honor, loyalty, brotherhood, esprit de corps if you're in the Marine Corps, brotherhood if you're in the Army or the Navy, shit like that. And y'all CBs, y'all know about that a lot. CBs is close as fuck to being Marines, even though they won't admit it. But anyway, I'm sure
the doctrine just a little bit.
Who in the hell would want to be close to being a? Never mind.
It's not that they want us to be close to being Marines. They just wish they could be Seabees. That's just what it is.
I knew I was gonna get you. Yeah.
Hey, I just want to revisit that point that you made, Bone, about back to basics. Sometimes even though we know stuff, it's easy to forget. Sometimes you got to refresh yourself. I don't care how many years you in this. We get comfortable. I don't care even if it's bad riding habits or what it may be. We get comfortable. We get a little complacent. Sometimes somebody got to put that back in your face because it's just easy. We think we know it all. And we just kind of out there doing it. It's like, yo, bro, sometimes somebody got to slow you down. So I like that concept. It's kind of something that, you know, people should reconsider. Probably putting that little thing in your bylaws or whatever, somewhere, not your bylaws, but somewhere to kind of have it in your face.
Hey, you know, Michael Jordan was arguably, depending on how old the person is listening to this, Michael Jordan is arguably one of the greatest of all times in regard to basketball. And Michael Jordan used to do his thing. He did it when he was in North Carolina in college. He did it as a pro. And that thing that he did was this. When practice was at 1,700, I'm being facetious. Let's say practice was at 1,700 hours. Michael Jordan was going to be there 2 hours before that, shooting free throws. Just shooting free throws. Why? Because he always felt he was weak. He was told he was weak with free throws. He needed to do better at free throws. So Michael Jordan would show up for 2 years. He's going to show up 2 hours before anybody else and just shoot free throws. Then, after the game is over, he's going to go to the locker room, do the whole thing, come back out on the court in street clothes, start shooting them free throws again. They're like, Michael Jordan, you are Michael Jordan. You don't have to do all of that shit. Why are you doing that? He says, because, you know why I'm Michael Jordan? Because I do shit like that. I got to be better. I have got to get back, and he would say, I get back to the basics, what he used to call fundamentals. The fundamentals are what makes my game great. But I can't do that unless I know that this is an area that I'm weak in. I got to tighten up. I've got to do good. I've got to get back to basics. Or, again, he said fundamentals, same shit. And he was the best. Why did Michael Jordan want what's his name, Phil, whatever his name was, as his coach? He said, because I'm Michael Jordan, but I have to have a coach. Somebody's got to tell me when I'm fucking up. Phil's going to shoot straight. So like you said, Weasel, it don't matter whether you've been in this shit 5 minutes or 50 years. Sometimes, you know, especially with us old heads, the gray bearded motherfuckers, we're going to forget some shit. We've been on autopilot for so long, sometimes we forget some real basic shit. And sometimes it takes that brand new cat to say, hey, I read something in the bylaws about such and such and such. Oh, yeah, shit, that's right. How the hell did I get away from doing that? Or it might be somebody that's been around just as long as you. But what you need, you got to surround yourself. Archbishop is this to me. He's the bro who's he ain't going to let my head get big. Archbishop is going to tell me some straight facts, whether I like it or not, whether it hurt my feelings or not. I can be butthurt all day long, but anybody who knows Archbishop, they know. Don't ask him shit. Don't ask him shit unless your ass want the truth. Because if you don't like it, but you asked his ass, guess what you're going to get? You're going to get the 100% of the truth straight, no motherfucking chaser. And, oh, damn, watch my mouth. But yeah, but that's a cool thing. That's why I love dealing with cats like Archbishop. And sometimes he do that shit because he's an asshole. He got a little asshole in him. So, but real talk though, everybody needs that. Everybody needs that. Somebody to shoot straight with them, you know. And we have to do that for each other because the set depends on it. It depends on us having our shit straight. So, because here's the thing: for every one of us that's on this dais tonight, we're all responsible for some folks, not even in our own clubs, but outside of our own clubs. They're going to either look at us for guidance or sometimes we got to give it to them whether they want it or not. But we need to know our shit. We need to be on top of our shit. We need to get it back to basics. You know, forget about fuck your feelings. You know, forget, yeah, that's my homeboy. We went to high school together, so let me take it easy on him. Nah, fuck that.
So let me ask this question. I'll put this out here. How do motorcycle clubs institute a valid, real, efficient training program that's going to bring people to the level they need to be in? Young heads don't like to listen to old heads. A lot of motorcycle clubs don't have anything official. If we want to build the youngsters beneath us, but coming up under us, if we want to guide the motorcycle club in a direct way, how do motorcycle clubs institute valid training programs?
There is nothing you can institute, but if you have that pride, that love, that ownership of your club, you will figure out a way to work with your brothers. Because I'm a man of less is more. That's what we were taught back in the day. That's why bylaws were so small back in the day. You didn't have, Library of Congress of fucking rules in the club. You had maybe a page, half a page of bylaws, and most of that had to do with the structure. It had nothing to do with what we have now, where one dude's fucked up and now we have to have a bylaw because of it. You know, you have to, as Bones said, man, we even had a club shirt that says back to the basics. You know, it has everything to do with that pride, that love, that respect you have for your club, that ownership of your club, understanding its history, understanding the reputation it has, and carrying that reputation on in a manner that's respected throughout the community. It's about making your club better and having the pride to do so. Meaning, if a guy's got a prospect for 2 years, then a guy's got a prospect for 2 years. If his hang around time, you know, is a minimum time with the club, you always double or triple that minimum time, you know, just in the chapter wise. You got to do things chapter by chapter. You can't do it as a whole club. It's impossible. You know, you have to be the one guy that's going to take a stand at every meeting, not to be against the whole group, but just to put, like Bones said, be that one guy that's going to give the advice of what's really in the bylaws, what a bylaw certainly means as compared to how it's interpreted. You need to be the guy that's going to say, look, man, this guy might be a great guy. He might have a big heart, but he's just not us. He just does not belong with us. He's not a biker, or he's not, you know, an invader, or he's not an outcast, or he's not, you know, an angel or a bandit or whatever. You know, you have to make those stands and say, hey, this guy is not one of us. He might be a great guy, but he does not belong. You know,
You said something that kind of reminded me of this conversation I was having with this dude the other day. He asked me, I explained to him, with a new club is I'm talking brand new, you know, never heard of them, newly invented club. And his question, I explained to him that being a new club on the set is almost like being a probie or probate, you know, prospect, whatever, in the sense that you have to earn your way into it. And that means you got to, you know, jump through some hoops. You got to show up to some places. Folks got to get to know who you are. You got to, you know, go out and support those folks that you're supposed to be supporting, not fuck with the ones that you're not supposed to be fucking with, and so on and so on and so on. So the dude says to me, he says, that sounds like the whole damn chapter is a prospect chapter. I said, yeah, that's exactly what it is. He said, well, how long is that? I said, how much time you got? You doing something for the next year, 2, 3 years, 10 years? Do you want your club around in 10 years? Do you want to be in that club 10 years from now? Well, shit. First of all, you don't know. But second of all, is don't ask me how long that is. It's as long as it takes. Just like with probates. Some clubs, 99 clubs, I've heard they'll say, oh, well, I have to probate for 90 days or 6 months. And after that, I'm in there. So they're thinking they just got to hang around for 30, 60, 90 days, a year, whatever it is that they're told, and then they're going to cross. I personally detest that. I hate that shit for anybody's club. And the reason for that is what happens, and I've seen this with so many different clubs where they tell that guy, hey, you're going to get your patch in 90 days. So he's going to be hard charging for 30 days, going to cruise for the next 30 days. And then last 30 days, he's just waiting on the day where he's supposed to show up on February the 24th is the day he gets his patch. No, fuck that. It's as long as it takes. I've seen guys probate for 6 months. I've seen them probate for actually 3 years. And I actually know of a guy who was a hang around for 2 years and a probate for 7 fucking years. And a different club, of course, but that's a thing. And guess what? Sometimes it takes 2 years or 3 years for that guy to get where he needs to be. And guess what?
Sometimes it takes 7.
Yeah, and look, and sometimes it takes 7. If you don't get where he needs to get, sometimes, guess what? It wasn't for you then. Yeah, you might want it, but maybe it takes you 3, 4, 5 years to figure out, well, shit, maybe this just really isn't for it. If I'm not where I need to be yet. And shit. So if anybody out there is doing that thing where they're telling, just my suggestion, if you're telling somebody in your club or some prospect or some hang around, you tell them, oh yeah, you got to probate for 3 months. Quit doing that. Don't tell him when he's going to cross, even if you've made that.
The bylaws are set up for us to know. They're not set up for anybody else to know. So I don't tell the probates or prospect or hang arounds how long they got to wait to hang around or how long they got to prospect for. Ain't none of their business. They're hanging around until told otherwise. They're a prospect until told otherwise. It's that simple.
Yep, that's it. That's it. So yeah, just quit doing. That's one of them things that waters down the set. You know.
But on the same note, on the same note, you know, every prospect doesn't have to cross over. I think people feel there's an entitlement to the patch. You know, just because you go through the process, and I don't care if it was 60 days, 90, or a year. When the time comes, if it ain't right, it ain't right. You know, and a lot of clubs are not saying no. They're like, yo, this cat, this and that, and they're going to backstab you and everything else, knowing that you ain't the right fit, but they still patch you up. You see that, brother? The next week he's suited up, and there you go. That's the poison in your club, and you knew that before that brother came to the patch.
You know what? Let me say one thing.
Go ahead, bro.
Tell you another one of the biggest things that there is too is why is it that people think that this probate period is supposed to be this happy-go-lucky time? Why these bros not trying? You know what I mean? You're not putting them into any kind of situation to where you know whether they're gonna stand in the paint or run like a bitch. You don't even test them. It's like they come through, as long as they hold through for 30, 60, 90 days or whatever, you're going to give them a pack. And then later on, after you gave them that pack, then you realize that they're not who they're supposed to be. Okay? That's not who they told you that they were. Why is that, though? Because you never tested them when they were the probate. You never put them in a situation to where they had to get in or get out. You know what I mean? You never put them through that. So
you got to break them to make them.
Right. So like back in the day, back in the day, we started like we had a guy, we made him like a probie coordinator. And basically what he did was that all the probies went to him. He didn't deal with nobody else in the chapter. He dealt with him. And his job was not only to teach him what he needs to know, but to also go through and like properly check him to make sure like, okay, you put him in a situation and see what he does. Is he gonna stand in the paint with you? When you turn to your left or to your right, is he still standing there or is he at the door? That's how you find out what the true ones really are, the ones that are actually going to be there for that long haul. You know what I mean? Because, you know, everything ain't happy-go-lucky all the time. And if I got somebody riding with me, then I got to know whether you riding me through thick and thin, hell or high water. Because at the end of the day, we're going to go home. If you ride with me, we going home. You may not be there long, but we going home.
Look here, we have reached our hour, and it has gone by very quickly. But listen, I wanna bring this to a close and tell you guys that first of all, on short notice, I hit you guys all up a few hours ago, and I just want to say thank you for coming on the show. I wasn't gonna do one, but I was like, man, let's get everybody together. So Hollywood, Archbishop, Big Bone, Shaggy, OG Weasel, you guys have supported me from the beginning, and I'm here for you guys as well, as you know. Just thank you for coming on. I want to take a couple seconds to talk about, before I let you guys out of here, what you guys are doing. We've got the Big Boneyard. When do you come on, Bone?
Man, Sunday at 7 p.m. ish. Because we always say 7 p.m. ish or about 7, because honest to God, we're out there pounding the ground doing biker shit, and sometimes 7 o'clock on a Sunday is hard to get in the door, that run into the studio and plug up and stuff. But it's going great, man. We have some great conversations, some great guests. In fact, everybody on this panel today has been on the show, which helps to make it a great thing. And I think for me and Archbishop, man, we're just, we're spreading the MC gospel out there, and I found people to be very receptive to what we're sharing. So, y'all slide on through. Of course, we're on YouTube and we simulcast to Facebook and some other stuff. But check us out on YouTube, the Big Boneyard. Boneyard spelled with one word, like the big, capital B, Boneyard, capital B, capital Y. But come check us out for sure.
You got it right here. Also, Hollywood, you got a new channel called, is this it? Insane Wheels? Is that your new channel?
Yeah, that's the new one right there, man. That's where we talk about everything motorcycle related, rally related. Gonna do some moto vlogging. No club
Right.
stuff on that one. It's real fun. That's where everything new is coming in. We just started that one out.
And we somebody sent hey Bone Ass Shaggy. It was is that something that we're supposed to talk about here? Uh, a pick Shaggy is something? No, yes, no.
What I do? I
Uh,
missed that. What
you sent somebody a pick.
I did.
I was told to ask about it.
Nah,
So
not on air, BD.
okay. All right. So let me not fuck it up. All right. So what are you into, Shaq? OG Weasel. What are you into now?
I've been on a sabbatical for about a month, so I'm coming back in 2023 and just work with different platforms, helping everybody out. I think my allegiance on Sundays is going to be to you in the situation with the roundtable. So just kind of gearing up for 23, and wherever I'm needed, we there. It's all about preserving, maintaining the community, passing on the culture.
Archbishop, what are you doing other than the big boneyard?
Man, that's you know what? That's a job all in itself. But we've been like I said, it's a lot of running we've been doing. You know what I mean? We getting around, and we between the boneyard and regular stuff, COC stuff, incon stuff. So we actually stay pretty busy. You know what I mean? So we moving around, and like I said, I spend most of my time between Wednesday and Sunday, me and him on this phone trying to figure out what it is we're gonna talk about and getting the information together and all that. So that's yourself, that's a job all to itself.
Oh yeah. And then
we got the PROC next month in New Orleans in NOLA. So me and Archbishop are going to be doing our thing there, spreading the word, talking to some folks. We're speaking at that at the PROC, the PROC they call it now. They keep changing the name over the years, but it's the PROC convention. We're going to be doing that in New Orleans next month, I forget the dates, the 12th through the 15th.
12th through the 15th, yeah.
Yeah. Okay, yeah. So we're going to be doing that thing, and so we're going to be bouncing around. We're going to show up in somebody's neighborhood over the course of
the PROC. For those that don't know, it used to be called the Public Relations Officers Convention. Now I think it's called the Professional Convention.
Yeah, the MC. Yeah, the MC Professional Convention now.
Its purpose, it's not just a big party. Its purpose is to actually bring motorcycle clubs in and teach them MC protocol and the proper way to do things. Shaggy, you've spoken there before. Aren't you going to be speaking there as well?
Yes, I'll be speaking there as well. I spoke there a couple years ago here in St. Louis, and I got invited to speak back again. So cool. I put a presentation together and talked with Foxy and sent her the information. So yeah, I'll be down there.
Right on.
OG Weasel has spoken there himself. That's where I met OG Weasel. We both were speakers at the PROC, and now wow. So hey man, everybody.
Hey, I got to tell you. Hell yeah, the PROC is what's up. I mean, it's a hell of a great time. In 2011, the PROC was in Tampa, Florida, and I was supposed to speak and do a seminar there. And so I was supposed to do my thing on Saturday, but of course Friday had a great time. Everything was groovy. Well, Friday night, hit the streets. Didn't make it home because I went to jail allegedly. Wait, am I supposed to say? Does that allegedly work? In that
allegedly works.
Allegedly, I was in jail according to the police officers that put me there. But so messed me up for 2011. So I haven't been back speaking wise since then. Because, I got nervous. I'm like, they're going to come and get me. But anyway, yeah, we're going to be doing it again this year. And y'all know it's a hell of a great time. But I think the biggest thing about the PROC is for folks that, so now we have channels like this and our respective platforms. But a lot of folks who haven't had the opportunity to plug in or learn who we are or what we got to say about stuff. It's a whole lot of folks, a whole lot of clubs out there who are looking for all kinds of different information. Some of it is legislative. Some of it is legal, as in what's going on in their state, biker profiling. There's racial concerns. There's all the stuff that we talk about on our respective channels. This is a a place where it's a convention. Thousands of bikers from all over the country come to get this information. And, don't get me wrong, there's a party involved too. But the bit is more. It's less about the party. It's
Yeah, they
less
had
about
like
the party.
It's a
10,000
party.
people.
It's
They
a
had like
party.
10,000 people at one of them parties one time.
Yeah.
I remember
Yeah.
that. The one in Atlanta.
Now,
Oh,
Bone,
yeah.
I spoke to Foxy 2 weeks ago. I may need you to get me a gate pass on this one. I may have to fly in town at the last minute, so I may have to talk.
Yeah. I will tighten it up. But
Yeah.
man.
We got to get Hollywood at the prox.
Yeah. Yes,
There
sir.
you go.
Got to get
There
him
you
to speak
go.
there.
Get you
Yeah.
some dreadlocks. Get some dreadlocks and everything.
Shaggy, what are you doing before we get out of here? What are you up to these days?
Working on motorcycles, working just regularly and trying to stay warm. Looking forward to the Prop Convention, looking forward to speaking to the folks out there, and looking forward to moving the NCOC, INCOM, and my state COC forward, and working with all these other legislative groups, and making our lifestyle much easier and better to live, without all the bullshit from law enforcement.
Yeah. Facts.
Yeah. Well,
And
man,
being the greatest invader I can be.
listen, guys, I hope you all have a very wonderful Christmas. I'm sitting here with busted pipes in the office, but I don't have water squirting everywhere, so I'm doing good. God is hell, I got heat, man. I'm not like people. I saw some people laying out in the cold last night, actually out there for real, like living out there. And I rode by them mad about my pipes, and I looked over and saw them wrapped in as many blankets as they could possibly wrap up in. And I said, shit, I'm going home to heat and food, and I've got gallons of water that I can use to do whatever I need. I am blessed. So for those people that are not as blessed as we are, I mean, it can always be worse. I'm so thankful. I'm thankful to have you guys as friends and colleagues. Hollywood and I are dinosaurs in this. Watching you guys come through is really amazing, and I hope you guys do well. I wish you the best of luck on your channels. I hope so much and pray so much that you guys all are having a Merry Christmas. Some of you guys that I know personally are going through some tough things right now, and you're still on this show and you're smiling, you got a bright face on, and you're helping people out. So I love you guys for that, man. I consider you guys all brothers of mine. So thank you so much for being on Black Dragon Biker TV and holding me down. All right. Merry Christmas. Good night to all of you guys.
Peace.
Well, guys, I'm glad you guys came on and enjoying the show. We appreciate having you all. And we will be on in the morning as well, Black Dragon Biker TV, and heading up to the new year. And hopefully you guys have a great end of the year. I hope you had a wonderful Christmas. Hope it wasn't too cold for you. I hope that you're warm. I'm hoping that you're well fed. Those of you who might need help, there are Veterans Crisis Service, Veterans Crisis Lines. There are crisis lines that you can call. There are people that are available right now, right this second, to help you and let you know that you are an important person and that the world is still going to be good if you're in it, better off than if you leave. So don't take that step. Pick up that phone and call one of these crisis hotlines, and there will be somebody there to help you. I'm thankful for so much. I survived COVID. So many millions of people haven't, and I got a little cough left, but I'm so glad to be here. So glad to be in front of you all, and so thankful for all of my very many blessings and my very cool friends from all over the motorcycle club diaspora. It is just amazing and wonderful to be here. So thank you all. Thank you for tuning in. That's my 2 cents. Love to hear your 2 cents in the comment section below. I'll see you back with Black Dragon Biker News. Biker News you can trust. Oh, dang. I didn't have the right button. Biker News you can trust. There we go. Hey, man. Harley House, good to see you, man. You guys make sure to check out Harley House on TikTok. It's good to see you. I also saw Mike Ball in here. Check him out on Instagram and TikTok. Make sure to check those guys out, man. Great people on here. All right. I'm out, man. Thanks for tuning in and get skinny. Hey, subscribers. Whenever you are in Macon, Georgia, you have to get over to my Motorcycle Club Brothers Cigar Lounge. Haley's Cigar Lounge on Ingleside Avenue has a night or several nights just right for you. Monday night football kicks off the week. Wednesday is whiskey night. Thursday, ladies night. Saturdays are make your night. And wrapping up the weekend, it's Sunday football. Haley's is closed on Tuesdays. Enjoy the friendly atmosphere at Haley's. Hang out at the bar or outside on the patio. They can also host your small events. Haley's Cigar Lounge, 2308 Ingleside Avenue in Macon, Georgia. Be sure to tell them Black Dragon sent you.
Get Black Dragon's first book, The Prospect's Bible, to learn how to join a motorcycle club. It has been an Amazon #1 bestseller for the past 7 years and is required reading for over 3,000 motorcycle clubs worldwide. This book is a must-have for new people venturing onto the motorcycle club set. It will teach you how to prepare yourself for service to the motorcycle club nation and show you how to qualify a motorcycle club to be worthy of your service. Available on Amazon, Kindle, and for order at your local bookstore. Get your autographed copy at blackdragonsgear.com. Be the best motorcycle club prospect you can be. Get the book.
Prepare yourself to take the helm as president of your mighty motorcycle club by delving into the pages of Black Dragon's newest book, The President's Bible, Chronicle 1, Principles of Motorcycle Club Leadership. There you will learn to advance your skills in applying the 14 scientific principles of leadership similar to those taught to officers in the United States Naval Service. Available in hardcover, paperback, and ebook. Get yours today on Amazon, Kindle, or order it at your local bookstore. Order your autographed copy from blackdragonsgear.com. Be the best motorcycle club president you can be. Get the book.